All right, 18 to the hour here in the Imus Morning program. Well, Sally Kohn has become an iFave, and she's in the power rotation, and we have her on all the time. And she's on once again. Please welcome to the program, Sally Kohn. Good morning, Sally. Good morning, Miss Kohn.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm tired of having you liberals on, whining about Obama's great, Romney sucks, Obama's great, Romney sucks. Well, we know Romney sucks.
Well, I mean, he's making his own case, man.
But he doesn't suck as much as your guy sucks. So, Fox News has an obligation and a commitment to be fair and balanced, but I don't.
No,
so
not
I'm
you.
Sick of it. No. You know what? Let me ask you about this first.
Yeah.
And get your feelings. I got up this morning to pop on Drudge, and I'd read a story about Hillary.
Problem, Imus.
Huh?
There's your first problem.
Oh, well, okay.
All right.
So, yeah, I want to get the news.
What, that he got up?
Yeah. And it's 2:30 in the morning here in New Mexico, and I read that our Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton's in Egypt, trying to keep the world from blowing up, and she is subjected, because the Egyptians are torqued off because of the Muslim Brotherhood thing and the United States getting involved in it, and I understand that. But, and the girl's getting pelted, her motorcade, with tomatoes and shoes. And then as a result of behavior by her fat, bulbous-nosed, dirtbag, hillbilly pig husband, the crowd of Egyptians is screaming at her, Monica, Monica. And so this scandal has permeated the lexicon of thugs all over the world some 15 or 16 years later, and I felt bad for her. And I mean, they want to throw shoes and tomatoes, fine, but your thoughts?
I got to confess, I hadn't seen the story.
You just heard it now.
I've heard it now, but I haven't, sort of read it for myself. But I mean, if it's true,
but why would you have to read it for yourself?
True,
I just told you what happened. I mean, it's like you're having a conversation with somebody, and may say I call you on the phone, and you and I are chatting, and I say, hey,
dude,
Sally, here's what happened, and you say to me, Sally, you can't keep talking when I'm talking, because if you're going to keep talking when I'm talking, you're not going to be on the program.
Got it.
This is not like the other programs on Fox or these other shows. We don't all talk at once. And the first thing we don't do is talk when I'm talking, because I don't talk when you're talking. So stop doing it.
My mistake.
All right. Yes, of course it was your mistake. We know that.
Oh, man.
So, no, it's irritating. First of all, I call you on the phone and say, hey, Sally, you don't want to say, I haven't read that or anything. You just react to it. So what's your reaction?
I'm saying I always take everything I hear from Grudge with a grain of salt. But if assuming it happened, assuming it's true, that's awful. That's awful. It's awful. I mean, what do you want me to say? Of course it's awful. Is it, the sort of question is more, how's the story going to be spun, right, to attack the Egyptian people, to sort of, further, there's a sort of conservative anti-Arab Spring story out there, right, which says that, actually it was better for the world and better for the Egyptian people when there was a repressive dictator in power in Egypt and the country was in the pocket of the United States. And now that the Egyptian people are free and have self-determination, we as Americans should be against that because we actually care about U.S. political interest more than we care about freedom and democracy. And if that's how this story is going to be spun, then I think we have to look at it with a skeptical eye.
Do you think that Matt Drudge and his people made up that the Egyptian people who were protesting were screaming Monica, Monica at her motorcade and her?
All I'm saying is I'm a good political reader. When I read things, I want to get both sides. I want to know, was it 2 people who said it? Was it thousands of people? I want to hear it from other people who were there, other sources. That's fair to verify a story.
I'll just say that it wasn't. Drudge is just linking to Wire reports about it.
CNN reported it.
Reuters report was what Drudge linked to, I believe.
Fine, then. There you go. Thank you. So, like I said, reprehensible. Now the question is, what do you do about it?
Would it be okay if it were one person?
No. I'm not defending it. It's awful.
Well, you were going to defend it until Connell pointed out to you that it was Reuters linking, it was Drudge linking to a Reuters story. You were going to, of course, minimize what happened if it were one person or a group of people. Now that it's Reuters, suddenly it doesn't matter.
No, I was skeptical about Drudge and him as a source. I wasn't skeptical about whether if this happened
You
to
know
any
why?
degree, it was bad. It's awful. I don't know why. I'm confused as to why we're having this conversation. If anyone, one person, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people screaming that at Secretary of State Clinton, wrong.
Here's why the liberals are going to lose this time. It's because it's your fault.
It's my fault.
It's because of people like you and like President Obama who talk out of both sides of their mouth. People who, it doesn't make any difference what's right or wrong. It's whether they agree with it politically. It's like people who always vote for a candidate or always vote for a particular political party regardless of the candidate. They never vote for the person.
Come on. I mean,
So,
you know, look.
It's your fault. When he loses, the blood is on Sally Kohn, K-O-H-N, Sally Kohn's
Get that
hands.
spelling right for the annals of history, huh?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Did you want to talk about anything else?
No.
Or you wanted to try and make me look like a buffoon?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, because, well, I don't make you look like a buffoon. You did that yourself. By suggesting, first of all, that Drudge was going to slant the story. Maybe he does. But in this particular case, I mean, it either happened or it didn't happen.
But,
so he didn't make up that it happened. Did he?
Well, come on. But Imus, you know as well as I do.
No.
You get me up here this early. I didn't see the story myself. You're citing Drudge. I go off and, you know, agree and blah, 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 and validate the story. And then, of course, I go back, which it could be another story. I go back, I read the truth, the fact of it, and whatever. And it's actually like a, you know, sort of blown out of proportion little incident, blah, blah, blah. And I just played right into Drudge's hands, and I look like an idiot. So forgive me for having some healthy skepticism before actually looking at the story myself.
What
I'm
if
not
I had
defending
told you-
the actions of the protesters. They were wrong. They shouldn't have chanted that.
What if I had told you that I read it in the New York Times? Would you have had the same reaction? No.
Well, of course I wouldn't have had the same reaction. You're right, exactly right. I hold slightly higher regard for the New York Times than I do for Drudge. Call me crazy.
Another reason your people are going to lose. And it's going to be your responsibility. I'm sorry I was so mean to you, but you brought it on yourself. Sally Kohn here on the I'm Somewhere program.
It's been a pleasure.